This logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public. That's exactly what we want to know, the answers. I believe the President would want to answer these questions and allegations as well. I do not make this decision lightly. And regardless of your party or who you voted for, these facts should concern all Americans.
That was House Speaker Kevin McCarthy yesterday announcing a formal impeachment inquiry against President Biden. McCarthy will now meet with House GOPers today for the first time since announcing that impeachment inquiry. Tomorrow, the House GOP conference will hold a meeting which they expect to lay out their latest findings in this investigation into the Biden family influence peddling scheme. Joining me right now is Wisconsin Congressman Tom Tiffany. He's a member of the Judiciary and Republican Study Committees. And Congressman, it will be your committee, the Judiciary Committee, and the House Oversight Committee that leads this impeachment inquiry. What should we expect?
Yeah, looking forward to it. I think there's two words that Speaker McCarthy used there: corruption and facts. That's what we've been doing all along here, Maria, as you have documented very well. Week after week, we see new revelations into this culture of corruption that we see with the Biden family. And we're going to continue to reveal this information, bring the facts to the American people.
So let's talk about those facts, because you know that your colleagues on the other side, the Democrats, say that this is political. There's no evidence. We've spoken with many of your colleagues who have outlined 176 suspicious activity reports that they saw from the banks. But we also saw witness testimony, whistleblowers. What do you think are the most damning pieces of evidence?
I think it's the 20 phone calls when Joe Biden said in 2019, I don't know what my son's business dealings are. We find out with at least 20 phone calls that he was doing that. It is it's the 20 bank transactions that we've seen that have come from foreign interests that funneled $20 million to the Biden family, including Joe Biden. Those, I think, are the three things that really have, for me, solidified that there's a real problem here, that where there's smoke, there's fire, and we are about to find out if there's fire.
Have you identified what Hunter Biden or the Biden family was selling? In other words, you and your colleagues have told us that the Biden family has taken in $20 million that you've been able to identify from countries like China, Russia, Romania. Congressman McCarthy told me that 16 out of 17 payments were from Romania to the Biden family. What specifically were those countries paying for?
Oh, they're paying for access. As Hunter Biden's business associate said in August, he said, you were paying for the brand. It was the brand, and they were selling the brand of Joe Biden. And I think people need to remember, as we go along through this, Hunter Biden is just a supporting actor in this whole thing. The central character is Joe Biden.
Yeah, the central character is Joe Biden, but we continue to hear from the Democrats saying that his hands are not dirty. He doesn't know anything about any of this. Have you been able to tie Joe Biden accepting money? Will this inquiry allow you to get Joe Biden's bank records to actually indicate once and for all that he got the money?
Well, it's been documented that there was a $5 million payment via Burisma to Joe Biden. And I think these additional authorities that we get with the being elevated now to an inquiry, I think those additional authorities that we're going to have now, we will be able to find out, were these payments directly to Joe Biden? Were they directly to the Biden family? And then 10% for the big guy, as we found out early on? Were those monies funneled directly to Joe Biden?
Yes.
These authorities that we're about to get, they should be illuminating, Maria, to allow us to be able to figure out, did the money go directly to Joe Biden?
That's a great point, and I'm glad you mentioned the 10% for the big guy. I'm with Lee Zeldin today, former congressman himself on the Financial Services Committee, among others. But what about that? There was an email that we saw as they laid out who gets what from their agreement with the Chinese company, and one of the lines was 10% for the big guy.
That is evidence. 10% for the big guy. It is evidence when you have the document of Hunter Biden complaining about all the money that he had to provide in this scenario to Pops. It is evidence when Joe Biden is taking meetings in D.C. at restaurants and then you're having millions of dollars sent over. It is evidence, as Congressman Tiffany had just pointed out, with the 20 business phone calls that took place. And there was a key word that Congressman Tiffany just said: access. Congressman Golden and the left, they want to say illusion of access. Illusion of access is that you say that you can pick up the phone, but you can't actually get Joe Biden on the phone. Actual access are the 20 phone calls during the meetings. Actual access is being able to set up these dinners. The evidence is deep, not just connecting this to Hunter Biden or Jim Biden and other Bidens. It goes directly to Joe Biden and the 10% for the big guy. We can't act like we're naive playing this out like we don't have an idea what that is. Obviously, we're talking about Joe Biden.
Yeah, it's a great point. Congressman, I feel like the Republicans have two problems. One problem, of course, and there's the email, 10 held for H for the big guy. That was an email from James Gilliard to Tony Bobulinski. These were two of Hunter Biden's partners. The email was from May 13, 2017. Expectations for their deal with CEFC, a Chinese company. But, Congressman, you have two problems here. You got the Democrats saying there's no evidence, but you also have Republicans, right? We have a graphic here of some of the Republicans who say they don't want to vote yes for an impeachment inquiry. So let's take a look at who that is. That is Ken Buck of Colorado, Dave Joyce from Ohio, Don Bacon from Nebraska, Brian Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, Mike Lawler from New York. They do not support an impeachment inquiry. You've also got Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz throwing more uncertainty into it. He says he's going to move to take away Speaker McCarthy's gavel if the GOP leader does not follow through with a list of his demands. Watch this.
No continuing resolutions, individual spending bills or bust, votes on balanced budgets and term limits, subpoenas for Hunter Biden and the members of the Biden family who've been grifting off of this country, and the impeachment for Joe Biden that he so richly deserves. Do these things or face a motion to vacate the chair.
Congressman, should we be seeing this kind of fighting when you all are trying to unite against this corruption?
Well, I think in terms of the people that are skeptical, I mean, certainly Representative Gaetz, he's going at this in a different approach than the 5 or 6 people that you listed in the run-up to this. But I appreciate the skepticism because I think the American people have that also. But we have been making the case methodically for months, and Speaker McCarthy is right. This has risen to the level where there does need to be a more serious inquiry, where we need additional investigative authorities. I mean, think about it, Maria. You've got fake emails, you've got fake companies, as in 20 shell companies. Why do you do that unless you're breaking the law? We need to get to the bottom of it and prove to the American people, beyond a reasonable doubt, that the Biden family did engage in real corruption, taking money from foreign countries.
Are you going to be able to do this and have this probe while also keeping the government funded? I mean, how do these two, tangle? You've also got to get agreement within the membership about passing appropriations bills, passing potential continuing resolution. The government's running out of money September 30th.
Yeah, that's why I didn't run for speaker. That's the speaker's job, Maria. It's a tall task to be able to do this, but hopefully we can get there. But I can tell you, in regards to the spending battle, Maria, we cannot accept the status quo. We have to have reforms here in America to stop this spending that has led to the inflation and the high interest rates that we're seeing now. And there needs to be real reforms. And for me, it starts with H.R. 2, securing the border. We have to get some reforms in place if we're going to continue this spending the way it is.
All right. We will leave it there. Congressman, it's good to see you. We'll be watching your work. Thank you, sir.